Hey, welcome back to my channel. This is Shawn the Realtor guy from Portland, Oregon. Let's look at an article this morning from the Oregonian. Uh, a, a shortage of U.S. home buyers is pushing sellers to cut prices. Here's how Portland stacks up. So this guy, Doug McCormick, in front of his house, had it for sale for like 2 months, and apparently it hasn't sold yet. Skyrocketing housing values and a shortage of homes on the market gave homeowners the upper hand for years when it came time to sell. There's no, that's no longer a given. That's really hard to read. That's no longer a given. Who talks like that? Across the country, it's getting tougher for sellers to drive a hard bargain. A dearth of home shoppers who can afford to buy uncertainty about the outlook for the economy, jobs, and mortgage rates is putting pressure on sellers to give ground at negotiating table. In some markets, mainly in South and West, they're talking about South of the country and the West, homeowners who are eager to sell are more likely to give buyers a better deal. This could include a lower price, upfront money to nudge down the buyer's mortgage rate, and the funds for closing costs and any repairs or improvements that may pop up after the home inspection. So those are the main key points that are right now being offered by many of the sellers who are more motivated to sell. First, the sellers might do some price adjustments, some price cuts, but these are some of the things that some owners are offering right now in Portland as well. As a result, while the national median home listing price rose slightly in July, some metro areas saw a decline, signaling a reversal in the power dynamics between buyers and sellers. It's rare to see the type of eye-popping bidding wars that exploded home values by roughly 50% nationally earlier this decade. Lowball offers are more common. That is true. In the Portland Metro in August, the median sale price registered at $550,000, decreasing by 0.9% from a year ago, according to RMLS. As home sits on the market for about 2 months, Portland area new listings in August fell 7.2% year to year through though pending sales increased 10.9% and closings rose 3.3% according to RMLS. So that's basically saying we didn't have a lot of transaction in 2024. Now we have a little bit more, 10%, maybe 11% more on the pending, which means it's more up-to-date data, right? And then the sold is a couple months back data. So the number of transaction is increasing compared to, let's say, 2-3 months ago. That's what it's indicating. The housing market remains mired in a slump. Sales of previous occupied U.S. homes are running about 1.3% below where they were through the first 7 months of last year, when they sank to their lowest level in nearly 30 years. The inventory has been low since 2022, really, when the rate dropped. Actually, the inventory shortage has been going on since like 2016. Even in 2016, there were multiple offers, and I actually vividly remember standing in front of a house in line with my buyer, with like probably 8 other people waiting in line to see the house. So the shortage has been going on. The national median home listing price rose slightly in July from a year earlier to $439,450 according to Realtor.com. The real estate listing company found that the most a home buyer who earned the median U.S. household income can afford to spend on a home is $298,000. This analysis assumes a 20% down payment and a 30-year mortgage at a fixed rate of 6.74%. By those criteria, 7 out of 10 home shoppers are priced out of the market. The reality is really not many first-time home buyers have 20% down payment. That's a lot of times it's either dual income or the first-time home buyers are getting help from their parents. That's what I see quite often. It is a problem because of the rate issue. Let's keep going. It's pretty much the same story that I've been telling you for over a year now. Homes linger on the market as the sales slow. The housing market has been in a rut since 2022 when the mortgage rate began climbing from historic lows. The number of homes available for sale sank while prices kept rising. Nationally, more homes are going on sale, meaning unsold longer because buyers have been unwilling or unable to make a deal. Active listings, a tally that encompasses all homes on the market except those pending a finalized sale, increased in July for the 21st month in a row, climbing nearly 25% from a year earlier, according to Realtor.com. The inventory of homes for sale across the U.S. has increased gradually as the market has slowed and is now at a level where supply and demand are more balanced. But in states like Texas and Florida, the number of homes on the market has climbed sharply, partly because those states are hotbeds of new home construction. That line is somewhat inaccurate in my opinion. The other reasons why it is the number of homes climbed really sharply is because they had a lot of property tax rising, the high insurance cost, and then the demand has slowed. People aren't moving as fast to Texas and Florida as that they did during the pandemic. It's not just a new home build. Home shoppers may now have more leverage relative to sellers in South and West, where home inventory has risen in the single digit compared to pre-pandemic levels. Conditions are tougher in markets in Midwest and Northwest, where the supply of homes remain 40 and 50% before pre-pandemic level, respectively, according to Realtor.com. Sellers feel the pinch and budge on price. After roughly 2 months on the market and 3 open houses, Doug McCormick, that guy at the front, that guy. I don't know why I did that, but I want to show you. The retired business owner and his wife initially listed 4-bedroom, 4.5-bath house located in Evergreen, a mountain community about 30 miles west of Denver for $1.3 million. They lowered their asking price to about $1.28 million. That too failed to bring in a buyer. McCormick, 80, says he's hoping mortgage rates ease a bit and bring out more buyers. But he is also considering just renting the property. That's something that's kind of in the back of my mind, he said. I keep reminding myself, you only need one buyer. McCormick's situation is not unique. As demand has slowed, more sellers have resorted to lowering their initial asking price, often multiple times to no avail. Even though we are seeing a substantial amount of price reductions, sometimes it's not enough to move the home. It's still sitting, says Annie Foshi, an agent with Redfin in Denver. Oh yeah, that's her. That's his agent. Um, the median home listing price in Austin fell 4.9% in July from a year earlier, while in Miami it dropped 4.7%. Yeah, it's my dog. He constantly opens the door and interrupts my flow, but that's okay because he's cute. Among other metro areas that had sharp drops in their listing prices, Chicago 4.4%, Los Angeles 4.2, Denver 4%. So I will share one quick story. I actually put this house on the contract yesterday actually. Um, this one, yeah, there we go. So it is a Westland home. We had this house for sale for about 75 days. I actually checked this morning. And we had one price cut about 2 weeks ago for about $15,000. And we finally found a buyer. Uh, what I can share is the funny thing is it was actually a multiple offer situation. So it's been sitting on the market for almost 3 months, right? No, 75 days. What's that? 2 months and a half. In 2 months and a half, we had initially we had three offers I think in the like front end the first 2 weeks, which is typically the most hot time of any kind of brand new listings. And then I had about five open houses in that meantime, and then we weren't getting we were still getting about five showings a week or so or more, and the one offer comes in and then the other offer comes in right after. That's how it works in real estate. It's like nothing happens and then boom. Anyways, so we put this on the under contract now. I can kind of show you, but yeah. So that is kind of like, in a way, like thinking back in 2000, let's say 12 or 2013, that was kind of norm. I mean, house sitting on the market for 2 to 3 months, that's norm. But I think everybody's got so used to selling in the first week, so it seems really like slow. But I'm pretty patient because I saw what it was in the past. I thought 2021 was just crazy. But let's go back to the article. So, I mean, he may already have gotten the offer. He didn't say the address here. I could probably call the agent, but he may already sold the property, or he may need to maybe wait a little bit longer. I don't know what price range like 1.3 million is within the whole city price scale, but Westland, like $700,000 home, in my opinion, it's like slightly above the first time home buyer price range. So first time home buyer price range starts somewhere in probably the cheapest one will be somewhere in the 450,000. So it's a move up home, and it is a very nice home actually, and that's what they're seeing here, and in here too. I personally see this kind of timing and trend basically. The couple listed 4 bedroom, 3 bed. Did I read this? Oh, here's another one. Another couple, Lindsay. When buyers are also sellers, so this is it needs some work. It needs some experience, in my opinion, to get things done to sell and buy at the same time. Lindsay Ollisberg and her husband John know what it's like to navigate both sides of the housing slump. The couple listed their 4 bedroom, 3.5 baths home outside Albuquerque for $835,000 in June 2024. June 2024. Yeah, that's over a year ago. John, a research scientist, got a new job in Texas. The plan: sell their house, move to Austin, buy a home there. It took more than a year, during which the couple lowered their asking price several times, temporarily took the home off the market, and had some offers fall through. In the end, they agreed to sell for 40,000 below their original listing price. So that's 835K. That's about, a little bit less than 5%. That's not bad, actually, in my opinion. Buying a home was much easier. The Ollisbergs had a little trouble finding homes they liked and could afford in Austin, where home inventory was up nearly 60% in July compared to pre-pandemic levels. They bought a 5-bedroom, 3-bath house in Austin for $735,000, or 30,000 below its initial listing price. So they kind of made up, I suppose, in some sense. The seller also agreed to cover 1,000 in fees. They could have done better there. We got less for our house in New Mexico than we would have wanted, says Lindsay Ollisberg, 59, a Bible teacher. But at the same time, you also knew it was a buyer's market in Austin, so prices were coming down. In markets where buyers now have the upper hand, sellers who can afford to wait are often opting to pull their listing rather than be pressured into coming way down on price. Yeah, I mean, my seller was in a similar situation too. Since we didn't get any offers, he thought, if it doesn't sell, he would just pull it off the market. Let's see. Tammy Tullis put her home in the Miami suburb of South Miami on the market in June, but the 4-bedroom, 3.5-bath house didn't receive many offers initially, so she dropped her $2.8 million asking price by $100,000. That helped drive turnout during an open house, but she only received lowball offers. They were like 400,000, 500,000 off the mark, said Tullis, 51. Last month, the finance consultant took the listing down. She may relist it sooner rather than later. I want to sell, but I'm not in a rush, she said. Lower rates ahead. The Trump administration has pushed the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates, saying doing so will help the housing market. But home buyers and politicians should keep in mind that the central bank only directly influences short-term rates, while most mortgages are based on the yield of the 10-year Treasury. So lower mortgage rates wouldn't be a given, even if the Fed cuts rates next week, as the market expects. Well, that's just in my opinion, that's kind of short-sighted interpretation of the Fed rate cut. There are so many different ripple effects of Fed rate cut, so she was wrong on that, in my opinion. Yes, this part is correct. Yes, it is 10-year Treasury bond, but there's way more than that. I'm not going to get into it right now. While lower mortgage rates would boost the home shoppers' purchasing power, they also could bring in more buyers, giving sellers less incentives to keep lowering the prices. That's a funny way to see it. Economists generally expect average rate on a 30-year mortgage rate to remain near the mid 6% range this year. Well, that has been already proven wrong, because right now, as of today, 30-year fixed rate is 6% on point. Let's quickly look at Portland, Oregon. So I look at the median pending. No, not that one. I keep looking at that. median sale price per square foot. Yeah. So that one is compared to last year, 2.55% less than 2022 actually. Yeah, that's quite low. So, earlier like this year, it was kind of doing what it did in 2022 and 23, but now it's lower than 2002 and 23. That says quite a bit. So let's see if I can figure this out. So 2024, that's orange, $305 per square foot. Now it's at 298.82. So about $7 less per square foot. So it's not huge, but it's not that small either. And the drop is faster than I anticipated. And this drop right there is just real estate seasonality. It happens every year, but it's cooling faster this time. But my prediction is it's gonna go back up a bit and try to meet here. That's what's gonna happen. So this blue line is gonna go up a bit and then go with 2023 and 4 and then end slightly higher. That's my guess because of the interest rate dropping. So yeah, I mean it's kind of good to read what's other folks in the other country are going through, but I'm not that really surprised. And let's see, anything else I want to share with you? I think that's about it. I just wanted to share this article, but it was longer than I thought it would be. But if you have any thoughts, if you want to know more anything about this article or anything else in real estate, just leave a comment. I'll try to cover that on the next video. And yeah, before I get sidetracked into a whole other subject, which is that $100,000, the H-1B visa thing that just announced. That's another whole thing. That video is gonna make this video too long. So thanks for watching. Have a great week, and I'll see you in the next video.